Good morning, happy Monday. It's week 4. We are getting started. Got a lot to do. We started Benchmark, our unit 1 on Friday, and I came to realize there was a lot that I was missing. Not materials like book materials and things like that, but I was missing a lot of the additional resources that have to be printed for you to have to use. So I wasn't aware of that, and that's okay. We made it through just fine. I printed quick while I was here, but I talked to my team, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, I wanted to stay ahead for you and everything, blah, blah, blah. They're like, no, it's fine. Like, we just printed what we needed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send to the copy center at least a week ahead, so we have everything we need for like the next week's section. And I'm going to try to make sure that I have the whole week done, if not like 2 weeks out, because that would just kind of make my stress levels lower, way down here, instead of, like super high. So I did that for today and tomorrow. I printed the stuff to make sure that we had all the additional materials as well. We didn't get to any of the writing on Friday because even though there's a time schedule that says like 30 to 45 minutes for this lesson or that, it's not really 30 to 45 minutes in real life. So it's definitely just kind of like a touch and go and feel it out and see how it ends up working for us, like I had said before. But we are definitely going to be ebbing and flowing with our lessons and just kind of trying to wrap it all up, or taking a little time from this to move it over here and that kind of thing. So we're going to work on that. I'm still raspy. I'm still coughing really bad. I don't know what COVID did to me 2 weeks ago, but I still have a really, really bad cough, and it's like croupy. It's gross, but I feel okay. So I'm here and I'm happy and I'm ready to be here. So I'm going to start the day off with my kids. I put them back in groups because I like the community setting way better. They did much better with their behaviors and the talking on like Thursday and Friday. So I'm hoping that we can handle ourselves in groups. And if not, we'll just go back to single seating like we were. It is what it is. But my hope is that they know the expectations, and we're going to review expectations. I'll give out class jobs today for the first week, so that's going to be fun. And then I will also make sure everyone does their check-in so we can talk about our feelings and that kind of thing. For my class jobs, I just have these little class helpers. I got them at like Target Dollar Spot, I think. And then I just put the jobs in there, and then I give everybody a job. Not everybody. It's 10 kids a week. So every other week, everybody will have a job. So it works out well. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get started and then check in later. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. We are here. We are ready to get started today. I just got in, so I'm opening my computer, getting my stuff together, gonna check my emails and all that fun stuff. I have my planner here because there's a lot to teach in benchmark reading today. There's a lot of moving parts and missing pieces that I had to piece back together. They were like, I think I was telling you guys before, but they're all like in the additional resources section. There's some other things that you need that you don't necessarily realize you need. You fine tooth comb the lesson plans and the unit planner, the weekly planner in the unit planner. And when you do that, you go, oh, I need to go on here and find 17 other things. So I went in there and I printed a bunch of stuff. And I, again, had said that I had sent out some of the stuff for like next week, or week 2 of unit 1, but this week I'm kind of just still piecing it together. I think I got it all, but there's definitely a lot of moving parts for reading today. Reading and writing are going back to back now. Our schedules got flip-flopped, so instead of having the time in between, we now have reading then writing right away. So what we're doing is kind of all of it smashed together. And then at the end of the day, we'll have our workstations. So that gives us time, and that gives the kids time to kind of process it and then be able to do it independently, or at least try it independently. And then, we would meet with them and see what they need, if they're getting it. If they're not, we'd be able to do our check-ins at that time. Also, all of our friends that are EL friends will get pulled at that time. All of our friends that go with our reading department for extra reading assistants get pulled at that time. So I'm kind of basically left with like 6 or 7 kids at the end of the day, which is really nice because I can really hone in on those 2 individual groups. They're about the same level, but I can really hone in on them and give them their direct small instruction, while our EL friends are getting their direct instruction, our reading friends are getting their direct instruction. So I'm able to kind of zone in on just those 6 or 7 kids, which is really, really nice, because I'll be able to kind of boost them and, you know, kick them up a notch. They are most of them, actually, I'm just looking at my reading groups because I just put them on the wall the other day. Most of them are they're either on grade level already or even maybe a little bit above grade level. So I'm going to be able to focus on all 3rd grade curriculum in my small group session, and then even maybe some extended learning for the friends that are just a little bit above. They're kind of like mid-3rd grade right now, which is great because it's only the beginning of the year. So we don't want them to get stagnant. So we're going to definitely give them an extension, and I'll be able to do that at the end of the day, especially with only those 6 or 7 kids that I'll have left. It'll be really good quality small group work. Benchmark gives us a ton of Lexile leveled readers that we can use. We can use comprehension, we can use fluency, we can use any of the quick checks. We're kind of at free will to do as we please during that last period when we have those small groups. So my small group tables are going to start running very smoothly, and I'm going to be very happy once they, kind of get rolling and we get everything processed. But otherwise, we're going to dive into, again, all of the reading curriculum today and then that at the end of the day. So we'll see how that goes. Yesterday, I did not check back in. I had about 17 errands to run after school, but I wanted to show you, I did go ahead and create a little folder for Benchmark. So I was saying how there's additional resources and everything's kind of everywhere. And so the things that aren't printed or the things that we need and we are using this year, when I print them, I'm going to just kind of collect them all in here and put them all in here by unit. So like any of my Unit 1 worksheets that I printed and did specifically use, I'm going to put in here. And then I'll do like Unit 2, Unit 3, 4, and so on. I had gotten this free from one of our Walmart donations that they gave us. So this was just a nice little, oh look, I have something extra I can put all my stuff in. So I did Units 1 through 10, front and back, and then I had the back here, I have anything extra. Anything extra would be like something that doesn't directly correlate to a specific reading lesson or unit, or anything that is just kind of like something that I noticed that we may use next year when we have a better handle on it, because again, this is our first year, or maybe not, but it's kind of something I might just pop in there instead, and just so we have it printed already and we don't have to go, kind of scrambling for. Math is still mathing. We started 3-digit subtraction. A lot of my kids did get it right away yesterday, which is great with regrouping because subtraction is always harder. But a lot of them did get it yesterday, which was awesome. So we're going to dive right into using the algorithm. We're going to dive right into using place value, and we're going to dive right into using, just strictly regrouping. Some of my friends kind of knew that whole more on top, no need to stop, more on the floor, go next door, that little rhyme. But they did pretty well with it. So we're going to just keep going with it today. I'll have one of my co-teachers, she'll be in here today for core math and for SRBI math. So that'll be nice because I'll be able to bounce back off of her once I teach like my part today, she'll do her part, and then we'll be able to collaborate later and see, how it went, how it's, because it's the first time this year. I mean, I've worked with her for years and she's amazing. I love her. But it's the first year we're working at it like this. So we'll see how it goes. And then I'll be able to, again, like I said, collaborate with her later to say pros, cons, indifferences, what should we do? So we'll work through that together. And then that might be it. Lots to do today. Busy, 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 but let's go. Let's get to it. I'm excited. End of day, and today went great. Most kids were ready to learn when they came in, which was really nice. We had a fire drill, so that was fun. First one. My kids did pretty great. Only needed a couple reminders to stay quiet in line, but that's just kind of how we always walk in line, always needing reminders to stay quiet, so that's fine. They did really well. We got through our math subtraction with 3-digit subtraction with regrouping. We did our picture method today. We used place value and expanded form. So we, learned how to pull it apart and expand our numbers. We learned how to regroup, go next door, and borrow from your neighbors. So we're regrouping there. And then we also learned how to work in our SRBI groups more quickly, but also more focused, I want to say. So we did our 10 minutes on fluency flight. That's how we always start our SRBI. And then we jump into our 15-minute rotations each. So we had a little hard time transitioning into our first rotation. But again, it's only the first couple days that we've actually been doing this continuously. So I understand. So we took the time to stop. We made sure everyone knew where they were going and what was happening. I think I might start making bins. So I originally just had these over here, my math by myself and whatever. I can leave them there and allow the kids to get them, but we talk about our space and our area and respecting everyone's area, and that is behind my desk area, so I probably won't leave them there. I have tons of other bins you guys saw in one of my, or a couple of my classroom videos. So I may grab some of those and kind of maybe leave them laid out where the kids can just more easily access them themselves, so I don't have to, because it just kind of takes time away from my groups. So I may end up doing that. Instead, they have a lot of their work, their independent work and their math writing. They have a lot of that in their math SRBI folders. So they don't necessarily need a bucket for that, but I kind of would rather maybe if I'm going to have especially the math with someone, maybe I can put just a small bucket up front and put the game or the worksheet in there in the morning, so then I'm not, giving the directions over and over. I can just say, math with someone on the carpet, go. Math by myself, go ahead. Math writing, take out your journals. You guys know what to do. And then our iReadyMyPath, which is going very well, by the way. So if you don't know anything about iReadyMyPath, MyPath gives lessons to students based on the diagnostic that they take. So we took it just now. We took it the beginning of September, and we have the results immediately. Obviously it's instant. So what iReady does is they make what's called MyPath, and they take where the students are a grade level or more behind, and they start with the lowest skill that they need to help them get up to grade level, and they'll start with that lowest skill and give them lessons. Videos are included in it. It's kind of like COVID teaching, if you taught during COVID, where we all just uploaded our videos to teach to our kids, and then we were available for live chats and live teaching at certain times of the day. But most of our lessons came with the videos that we created ourselves and uploaded. So it's kind of like that, where they're learning by themselves. And I guess on my end, we've never used it before. We didn't use it last year. So we started iReady last year, but we didn't use it last year, the MyPath. But our district bought it this year. So I guess on my end, I will see a red flag come up on my teacher screen for where the kids are struggling if they're not getting through their MyPath by themselves. And what that does is that prompts me to pull them into a small group and work with them directly on that specific skill, so they can master it with me. Once they master it with me, they'll go back to MyPath. It has to be reset for them to do it again, and we'll see if they've mastered it through the MyPath assignment. So that's something that's a work in progress. I was talking with my math coordinator today, and she is she's all about it, she's all for it, but we're all learning it together. So she's like, don't stress about it, take your time with it and figure it out. If you come across anything, she's like, let me know, because again, we're all learning it together. It's the first year that the whole district is using it, so that's great. But my kids are able to do that in their small groups for our SRBI time, so that worked out well. We had a lot of benchmark writing to catch up on. I'm noticing with benchmark that there's a bunch of stuff that we can kind of do as we're going instead of following the path completely. The unit planner completely. So what I mean by that is I will show you the unit planner. So here you see for week 1, we have our comprehensive literacy planner. Here's day 1, and this is what you should teach on day 1. This is approximately how many minutes you should spend on each and everything. So you see there's lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, which all correlate together. See this little section here that says begin the blueprint. And then it says add to the blueprint, and then it says discuss the blueprint. Well, in our workbooks, we have after our essential question, we have our blueprint page. And so what it is week 1, when we read Animal Disguises, we're to fill out the blueprint. Again, I just showed you, we did 3 days of Animal Disguises, day 1, day 2, and day 3, and it's not until day 3 that you should start the blueprint. However, with our kids and being that is their first year doing it, what we're noticing is it's just too much writing for them to do at once. So what I'm thinking, what I mentioned to some of my team was maybe as we're reading it and discussing it, maybe we can come and write it here so we have it a little bit at a time, right? So what was the adaptation? We're talking about camouflage. What were some examples of that adaptation for those animals in the camouflage? Okay, then after we read it, we can kind of come and fill in the second part. So tomorrow we're to read Animals Tools for Survival, which is the second short read in our workbook. So we'll read our Animals Tools for Survival. And as we're reading through it, we'll be annotating in the notes page, the notes section, which is part of why I love Benchmark, because it has the notes sections right there. Also, it has the annotations tab in the very beginning as a fold out, so kids can actually leave this open and they can see, okay, these are the basic ones. I gave them a couple extra. I gave them like brackets and I gave them parentheses. I gave them a couple extra things that I like to do with my annotations, but they can write out their notes here, and they can also just work directly in their workbook, in their consumable. So what I'm noticing, like I said, with so much writing, what I'm thinking is we'll chunk it up, and maybe we'll read the webbed feet, we'll talk about the webbed feet, and then we can go back to the blueprint and talk about that here. So what was the adaptation that the animal has, and then how do the animal adaptations help the animal survive? So we could write ducks have webbed feet with a little arrow over, and how that helped them survive. Just so that way we're not doing it all in one day. It was a lot of writing. This is not the only bit of writing we did today. We did a couple other worksheets that had to go with writing today as well. So it was a lot of writing, and I think they were very overwhelmed with it. They did very well, but I think they were overwhelmed with it. So we're gonna work on that tomorrow. I also went ahead and, based off the blueprint, tabbed all of my days. So lessons 1, 2, and 3 for week 1, unit 1. I put a little tab here, and then that's all 3 of them there. So I kind of know better. I did the same thing like day 2. There's 3 lessons chunked together there. Day 3 for the week, there. And then I went ahead also and did my week 2. So if I want to jump over there, if I want to look ahead, I can see. It's just kind of easier for me to see exactly what lessons go with what day, because again, you saw in the unit planner, there's 1, 2, and 3, and then 4, 5, and 6 for that specific day. So that's just kind of another easy way of labeling everything and kind of staying organized. So now before I go home, I sit to go through my to-do lists. I'm going to check my emails. On my to-do list, I have a couple emails to send. So I'm going to go ahead and just get started and see where the time goes. Four 45, 15 minutes later than I like to leave, but that's okay because I was on a roll. I got my math plans done on Tuesday. Normally I don't do them until Thursday, so my team can have them for next week when I get everything done, but it's Tuesday and it's done. Even better. Win-win. 15 minutes out extra, no problem. Total win for me. I'm happy with that. I've got a small pile of homeworks to correct. I'm going to leave on my desk for tomorrow. I've got my teacher books out and open, so those are ready for tomorrow. I've got my planner here closed, but I'll open it tomorrow when I come in. And I'm just getting my stuff together. I am leaving. I'm going to get my son, grocery store, Taco Tuesday. Here we are. So excited. Phone, wallet, keys. Phone. I'm on my phone. Wallet, keys. Yes. Okay. Let's go. See you tomorrow. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. It was a little rough getting up this morning because I just can't get up on Wednesdays, but it's okay. I'm here. I look cute because one of my coworkers bought this cute little shirt off Amazon and didn't love it herself, so she gave it to me. How sweet is that? So I'm getting ready for the morning. I got a bunch of stuff from the copy center, so I'm just kind of sorting it now for my grade level partners. I did a bunch of our quizzes for math, so we all have them like ahead of time. We could just file them. So I'm just sorting those this morning. I'm going to sit down when I'm done, turn my computer on, and check my email. Normally, you know, people have like regular morning routines, and I do, but sometimes I don't always do it in the same way because something else comes up. And you know what? That's just teaching. By the grace of God, we're here, and let's get it done. So one thing at a time. I have a couple copies of some of the reading worksheets I was telling you guys about, the additional resources that you like have to go and find and print. So I printed those for this week and for next week. So we're trying to stay ahead again. And then once we've got those, which is somewhat starting to be a little repetitive, I can tell it's like if we're gonna write it on here for our worksheet, it's a good way to keep it all together, but also we're also writing it in our blueprint in the workbook, so it's like, do we need to write it here and there and then there? So it's just kind of like, again, like a pick and choose, and kind of see how it goes. So I'm gonna go run back downstairs, put these in their mailboxes, and then run to the bathroom, come back up, and I'll get started. Math is continuing subtracting 3-digit numbers today, and then we're using, let me show you. We are using our number lines. We are doing the add-on to subtract method, which is also really hard for kids, but we figure it out and we go little by little. So we've got this little add-on to subtract. We'll use the number line. Start with 37, add that 3 to get to the 10, and then add the 10 or the 20, however many more, to get to the next group of a 5 or a 10. Always try to make a 10 regardless of what you're doing. So addition or subtraction. But add on to subtract is, I don't know, it makes sense when you teach. And then, like I said, for reading, we're doing a couple more words. We're doing our second short read today, which will help us build more key details and main idea. In there, we'll use context clues and we'll pull out those key details to help us continue collecting information to write our informative explanatory essay. So lots to do, fun stuff to do. Happy Wednesday. Let's get it done. Hi, good morning. Happy Thursday. I am crazy running around here on time, but I stopped in to talk to a coworker, and another coworker came in and was like, haha. So we kind of got that all together, and now I'm doing some stuff for that second coworker who just needs a little extra today because we're all in it together, and that's the only way we're going to get there is if we make it through together. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and print them some stuff and get them all set up, and then excuse me, I have got to go get this cough checked out. This post-COVID cough is like, oh, it's so bad. It hurts. Oh, it's like in my chest. It hurts so bad. Anyway, I digress. So today we're going to be doing our math stations. We're going to focus on those. I'm going to turn some things around and change some things around, so I really want to take the time to go through those with the kids. And then on indoor recess, so during our morning meeting, we're going to take the time. I'm going to take out all the indoor recess stuff, show them what it is, show them how to use it, because we haven't had to do that yet. But it's a really cruddy, I'll be polite, cruddy day here today. So we are going to take the time, like I said, during morning meeting to go through all of that, what it looks like, what it sounds like. I don't normally like to stay in my room for indoor recess because obviously it's my prep and, I'm on lunch, but I might today just because it's the first one, and just kind of make sure that everything goes smoothly as it can possibly go. So we'll see how that goes. But on the flip side of everything, I'm going to go, like I said, get this stuff for my coworker, and then I'm going to just kind of dive in and get the day started. So we'll check back in later. Good morning. Happy Friday. Today is a fresh wash, fresh slept on. Leave my hair down because it'll be up in the top of my head in a bun in 5 seconds after the bell rings anyway. So happy Friday. I am here. I stopped to talk to a coworker downstairs. I wanted to clarify some things with them about our curriculum. So the lower grades are just starting their benchmark unit 1 today because their launch was 20 days. Ours was only 15, so we started last week. So I was just kind of giving them a little tips and tricks and things that I've noticed just from benchmark being the first week. So I stopped in to talk to two of them actually today. So I'm just getting up here and it's already 9:07. Kids come in at 9:15. So there's that. Luckily, I have everything prepped and ready. We won't have math today. We have an all-school assembly, which is our first one for the year, which is awesome. We all go downstairs. We meet downstairs. We all sit together. We go over the student of the month and congratulate those friends, one from every class. We go over our Lexia superstars, our iReady superstars, so we kind of give everybody a little shout out. Our principal will go over all of the rules and routines and all those types of things again with them, same things that we're doing up here. So it's just a nice kind of back to school kickoff one that we're going to start with today. So we'll do our SRBI, our Math Lab Friday, which is what our what our math coordinator came up with for Fridays. It's kind of similar questions to what they'll see on the SBAC. So we're trying to do that every Friday to give our kids a better preparation and better understanding of SBAC type questions and what you might see come April, May when we take SBAC next year. So next 2025, not next school year. So we'll see how that goes. A fun Friday pick-me-up, though, is cake pops. One of my coworkers does all this wonderful, delicious baking on the side, and she has decided to share out that she'll bring in treats on Fridays for anybody who wants to buy from her. Super cheap, super easy, super simple for us, but it's a lot of time on her, but kudos to her. She's just doing it, and it is awesome. So I have 2 cake pops. Hopefully I don't eat both of them today, but I did not bring lunch because I knew I was going to have that special treat. So I am very much so looking forward to eating those this afternoon. I also this morning quickly have to figure out some dates for us to take our IABs, which are really kind of hard to squeeze in between all of our math lessons and stuff, but I'm going to look at the calendar and see what I can do. I have to get one done in the middle of October probably. So I'm thinking our second unit is multiplication and division concepts. So I'm thinking once we get through all of multiplication, we can do the mid-unit assessment. Sorry guys, my hair is driving me crazy today. I might as well just throw it on top of my head. So I'm thinking maybe if we do the mid-unit assessment and we can do one of the IABs at that point and then do the second one after we finish the division portion, after we assess for the whole unit. That might be an option. So that would be, we're looking at lesson 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's like the beginning of November already. So I don't even know if we'll be able to get one in October. I hope it's not like you have to have one in October. I think it was kind of like given to me as like October, November, whenever you can get it in. But we do have to do those 2 with unit 2. So I'm thinking probably maybe before Halloween for the first one. Lesson 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I think I'll put it in after we learn to multiply with our numbers before we talk about grouping and place value, because the first one is numbers, operations, and base 10. So it's really place value like what we're doing now, but they don't want us to do it right after unit 1, which is so silly. So I think maybe we'll do that. We'll do it at the end of October before Halloween. And then there's a lot of days off in October. Half days, PD days, no school, parents visiting. We got a lot going on. Bookmobile visits, fire drills, lockdown drills, staff meetings. Whew. Lots to do in October. We're going to be busy over here. All right, so that's the plan. Let's see if those dates work for my math coordinator. End of day Friday. I'm going to go print a bunch of stuff for next week because some of it's coming back from the copy center and some of it's not. So I'm gonna go print a bunch of stuff and then put it all in my Monday through Friday drawers and call it an easy weekend.